All right. Well, I'm Andrew Stuck. I'm one of the co-directors of Walk, Listen, Create, and we're one of the partners in the Walking Arts and Local Communities project. It's part funded by the EU, and we'd like to acknowledge and thank them very much for doing that. And I'm going to ask you if you have any questions at any point. Please type them in the chat, okay? Type them in the chat and we'll try to cover as many questions as possible. And we'll do that at the end of the presentations. We'll come back to the questions. And I'm afraid because there are so many of us, what we'll probably have to end up doing is reading out your question. Now, if you have updated your Walk, Listen, Create profile, we'd love you to put the URL to that in the chat as well, along with your question, just so that we've got a little bit more information about you if needs be. But anyway, what we're going to do now is we're literally going to go around each of the partners, and I'm going to start with Yanis Yogas, who is our project lead. So Yanis.
Welcome all to this inaugural meeting of WAC. It is a very, very moving moment for all of us to have you with us and join and share with you all that joy. I'm Yanis Yogas, I'm the lead of the project, and I'm a painter and professor in the University of Western Macedonia.
Great, thank you very much. And the next up is Vermeer.
Hello, I'm joining you from a real cafe in this online cafe, and I hope to give you some great ambient sounds to make it even more cozy, our conversation. Today, I'm talking with you as artistic coordinator of this long process project we have ahead of us for 4 years. And together coordinating it with Yanis Yogas. I'm as well with Andrew and Babak, one of the co-founders of Walk, Listen, Create, about which we'll tell you more during this meeting cafe. So next speaker.
Okay, next up is Anna Luton. Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna. There is a brass band playing on the background, so maybe you will hear them, especially for you. I'm Anna Luiten. I'm working from Gaasbeek, an old school in an old village. I'm professor of philosophy and walking arts in Ghent and in Maastricht, and I'm happy to join this fabulous group of fabulous walkers and artists and thinkers.
Sadly, Anna has to leave us very shortly, so we have a video that we'll be running, which Anna pre-recorded. But otherwise, all the other presenters will be live and in person. So I think next up, we'll start with Clara.
Hi, everybody. Very happy to be here on our first meeting in public. I am director of a contemporary art center in Catalonia called Now Coclea, and we have been responsible for a project of walking art called Grand Tour, which is the project that will have a new perspective, a new horizon by this being together to this all these international wonderful partners. So very happy to be among you all, and good evening from Catalonia.
Okay, next we have a sort of double act. We have Natasha and Miguel, who are coming from Portugal. So Natasha first.
Hi everyone. Olá a todos. Boa tarde. I hope you get my English. It's not perfect. We are from Minho, Guimarães in Portugal. My words echo, I think, all the speakers that already presented themselves. I'm a visual artist. I'm a teacher in a visual art course, and I've been working with Miguel and Gert Vermeer, also in a project called Walking Body. I hope we have time to share. Thank you. Miguel?
Hi everyone, I'm Miguel. I'm Natasha's colleague.
at the School of Architecture, Art and Design. I'm seeing here now very friendly faces, which is very amusing, and I hope to work with you very soon.
Great, thank you, Miguel. Next up is another double act. It's Sylvie and Fred. So Sylvie or Fred, where are you? Fred, I can see you, but I can't see Sylvie.
All right, so I will start. So, bonsoir. I am Fred Adam, locative media artist, very passionate into technology, art, and ecology. And I am member of the GK Circus Art Collective. And I do the coordination of the workshop for the WALC project.
So I'm Sylvie Marchand from France, and this is Lionel Camburet. We work together. We've been working together for a long time. I'm an ethnographer and video artist, and I started my life as an artist with circus, and mobility is something, you know, this energy of movement in my life as an artist. I'm working now in Mexico, in America, also in Mongolia in Asia, and in Africa, in Egypt. So in Mexico, I'm working with Raramuri people, Tarahumara. They are autochthonous people who run, you know, they are known for running, which is not sufficient to describe them. They have wonderful rituals and songs and dances. I'm also working in Mongolia, of course, with nomadic people, and now we have Tamir in residency in our place, which is called, he is called Tamir. He's painter. And in Egypt, I'm working with on the topic of migration between mother and sons who have migrated into France. And I'm so happy. Thank you very much. I'm so proud and moved to start with you guys working on the WALC project. We've started this Hospitality in Action project 7 years ago, and this is on this idea of working with migrants, let's say. I don't like to call them migrants. So
Okay, it's over to you, Yanis, and you can share your screen if you wish.
I can say a few things about the seventh partner, who is Action Synergy, and whose director is Kostas Diamandis, who is doing managerial, solving managerial issues, very important in a program like ours. And also he will be working with training and evaluation. The beautiful logo made by Miguel Duarte, who is, has introduced himself from Minho. And of course, there was a collective process a few weeks ago when it was decided that this will be our logo. The concept, the main concept was that we don't speak about one body, we speak about a nomadic body. It is 5 countries, as Miguel has explained to us. I'm just speaking with his words. And 5 countries, 5 bodies moving around and doing this endless circle. So this is very representative of the idea, and it gives a perfect beginning of our purpose. So this is who we are, the partners, as they have introduced themselves. The project is called Walking and Local Communities. 1 project, 7 partners, 5 countries. Walking, 1 word, local, 2nd, communities, 3rd. This is where we are found in the European map, but this is only one part of how extended we are, because as Sylvie already had explained, and each one can tell us similar examples, we use these as hubs. Even as we are hubs, we strongly believe in the concept of hub, not in the concept of centers, especially when we speak about nomadic concept of art. We speak about transition, about places where we go, we live, and we return to find again ideas, concepts, people, and communities. Again, this is the landscape of Prespa, which is the place where that was initiated for many reasons that we will explain them later. And these are our partners. So this is the main, the summary, and more or less you have already read it. I have decided to isolate watching as a collaborative medium, international watching arts encounters in the natural reserve of Prespa for the beginning, physical events to go along with horizontal online events, simultaneously organize events in 10 residencies by the consortium partners, community-based practices based on watching arts, and go beyond the established art market. So we have created this big network that started from a place, and the main concept when we made this application was to use the area of Prespa as a model of a place of Europe and of the world that is isolated, that is poor, in the lowest 5% of the European countries, that is in the borderline between Northern Macedonia and Albania, and of course Greece, and try in this very place create what we call a hub that will go beyond the limitations and which will actually use the limitations in order to go all over. So we met partners and with technology, but more than that, with the spirit and the ideas that we had, we have been able to spread. We have to say that we have dealt, especially there have been already created 3 international conferences with more than 400 people attending, from more than 30 countries, where what is watching art has been dealt. We are not trying to invent something. We are part of the watching art tradition, but we are trying to add to that a new component. And that component is what we call community reference, and also to go beyond the watching art in watching arts. And so these are some of the historic paradigms most of you are familiar with. I will not go further with this. This is a typical diagram used by Carol McCourt. There is already a volume of 600 pages, so there is a lot of discourse and critical practice that has been used, and this is what we are proposing. On the one hand, we have watching as an experience that is isolated in itself, and we don't say that critically, but we want to go in community-based practices, using horizontal online events, and working with physical events in situ. Physical events, these are from our colleagues. This is from Catalonia and the Grand Tour, Clara's contribution. This is from Prespa. All these show how we want to go in the landscape, not necessarily in the physical landscape, but whenever this is going to apply, and then meet, work together with communities that we will find, like Gazbik here, like Psarades in Prespa, like and then we go from the outside in the inside of building, because what makes a community are its people, like the community that is initiated in France from Sylvie and Fred and Lionel. And of course, this is what makes it, so we use all these communities and all these practices as initiators, and having horizontal online events. This is an event, a workshop, an event, you can call it, that was created from the hub in Brazil during the WALC, the conference of 2020-2021. And again, you can see this somehow imprinted in the place where it was created. So we have the place, we have the people, we have the communities, and we have the various practices. And so this is, again, to go back to the first diagram and see how we are working in that content and context. So we are in a landscape, but we want to go beyond the landscape. We want to go to the topos, to the place, initiate and understand what is the space that defines all this, and project that in the actual field. Having also going back to Gatsby, I have all the credits that you can see on the side in Catalonia, in an urban landscape, very tortured in the west part of Thessaloniki, Greece, and then back to Prespa again. So you see that we are moving in different places. We are using various techniques and we are watching, we are nomads, and this is our project. Again, we wanted to make a very, we hope, efficient idea of how we work, how walking can go beyond a typical art practice and enter in what we call local communities, enter in the de-objectification of art in general, and create hubs where humans, people, nomads will have, in a way, the right to contribute in expression and initiate essential things, especially in these times that we live. I don't want to say that we are living in a more or less difficult times, but we see more and more how the creation of hubs can empower, can initiate, can give voice to places that are voiceless as far as what they can contribute, how they have to be heard. And when we say to places, we mean places as a total, with its people, with its history, with its memories, with its wounds. Thank you very much. Because of course we have been along that way, that nomadic way with Gert. And
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Yanis, for this very eloquent flow of thoughts and initiating this conversation with so many inspiring ideas. We will talk about during this conversation much more. I would like to add to that, reacting to a very important word that fell already in the beginning of the introductions. We used the word hospitality. And you, Jan, is saying that we are living in, let's say, changing times. And it's the times that we are living in are times of movement, migration, people on the move. And in a certain way, we are all migrants. We are all on the move constantly, although we are at the same time rooted in the places where we live. And these concepts of hospitality goes back to the initial initiatives we developed, you with Fishbowl Marks of Precipice, which we explain later on, hybrid made of walking, where we invited artists to come together to a place they don't know yet, in encounters, to explore, to discover, to be together in an unknown territory, walk it together, and by walking it together, not only approaching the landscape, but also each other. This community or local community is much more than people rooted in a place. It are also people that are discovering this place, that are being together in this place. It has much to do with a collective experience that is facilitated by walking. The idea of collective wisdom or co-creation is extremely important for the whole endeavor that we are developing. Collective wisdom in the sense that we are working, this is a very horizontal project. This is not only about collaboration, this is about really collective approaches to every part of the project, and in the sense of leaving behind individual. I have the great pleasure to have worked with all of you. The sort of threat, red threat to all the organizations, like Natasha said, and the Walking Body with Clara in the encounters in Catalonia, with Fred and Sylvie and Lionel. Our paths are going together a long time as well. With Janis already for many years in Brescia, with Babak and Andrew. So, and all the time, this was a collective approach. It's the events we organized were not administered by one person, by the vision of one person, but by the blend, the mix, the exchange of the people working on it, leaving behind their individual authorship to find new approaches this leaving behind of the individual authorship, I think, is very essential for the time we live in. It's also, of course, facilitated by the digital age we live in, and that's another part that we are exploring in this project that we will talk about later. But as well, leaving behind the human. So to work together to co-create is not only to co-create with other human beings, but as well to collaborate, to co-create with non-human beings. And going beyond that with non-human systems that could be digital systems. So opening the idea of a field where everything is possible through interactions, intersections, and working together on the same canvas, creating together on the same canvas, and interacting with each other. This is the basic idea, and the idea as well of an international center for working arts we want to create. We look back to what working arts was in the past, but we look as well to the future to what working arts can be in a plural way. Because working art is not only on one hand, it's a blend of approaches. And the future of working arts can be a way of redefining, horizontalizing the creative and artistic the world. We strongly believe that the future is in this co-creation, in this collective approach. And we hope that this international center that is very much interested in the concept of community, local and in a broader sense, in a global community, can contribute to a way of transforming the world by being together, working together. That's for me.
Thank you very much, Head. Yanis, do you have anything more to say at this point, or should we move on to the next presentation?
No, Gert has covered me, and we have to say that this is, we speak about openness, and we will keep working on that during these 4 years of implementation. We have to, this is a 4-year project. It has many events that take place. You can follow them and participate in them. You are very welcome, and contribute like today with your ideas and concepts. And also, I would like definitely to thank all my colleagues that we put together this program. Some of them we are already together for a number of years. Others have joined us recently, but we are all together in this.
Okay, everybody. The next presentation is has been pre-recorded by Anna Luton. Anna has had to leave because a close family friend of hers passed away, and she's reading a eulogy at a service this evening. So as you can appreciate, that rather take precedence over this meeting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a Google Share link to the video that we're going to play, because some people, when we put this through rehearsal, some people said they couldn't hear the sound very well, etc. But I'm hoping that you will be able to hear the sound, and when I play the video, you'll be able to watch it as well. It's just a very short video. It's been made by volunteers, by artists at the School of Gaspik, So I just want to give them accreditation. There's a graphic novel, and film directing is by Jan Bouthiel. Video photography is by Dan Apples, and the sound is by Christelle Simons. So
It started in an old school, in an old village, next to Brussels. And the school got empty. There were no children anymore in Gaasbeek. And the landscape was waiting for footsteps. Little footsteps, small footsteps, big footsteps, long footsteps, slow footsteps, artistic footsteps. Footsteps that can make, that can think, that can do together. And the school became a residency for artists. The school has a backyard, and in the backyard of the school is an old castle, where artists were invited from the 14th century on. It was a refuge, and now the castle and the landscape and the people are waiting for footsteps, small footsteps, big footsteps, slow footsteps, artistic footsteps, your footsteps, footsteps that walk together, that make together, that sometimes get lost, that sometimes find a way. From this year on till 26, we will become a residency for walking artists. In 25, we will open the residency during 10 days for 4 artists who can stay there and work together with the villagers of Gaasbeek, with walking organizations of the countryside, with artist schools, with choreographers, with thinkers, with doers. And in 2026, there will be a big happening in the school, in the village, together with the village, together with the castle, in the parks. In the meantime, podcasts will be made with artists who think and work with walking or with footsteps or with wandering or with getting lost. But we will do it step by step and with you. In Gaasbeek, in this little village where the school got empty but now became a residency.
okay, next up will be Clara Gowrie.
Hi, everybody. As I said, I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very grateful also to have had this opportunity of going beyond with Grand Tour. We are a very small but very senior art center. Which was founded in 1996. So now we are about 28 years. And Grand Tour is a project that started in 2015. And in our cultural center, which is called Now Cochlea, we also do other projects like walking projects, but also we have an artist residency and do a lot of interdisciplinary projects, sound arts, etc. Now I'm going to share my screen. Grand Tour, as I said, was created in 2015 with the idea of finding a new way of showing visual arts, sound arts, and things in stage. Well, this is not... well, sorry. And to show, well, this is it. It was created to find new ways of presenting art. But by walking to find a way of showing art, taking it out from the auditoriums, from the exhibition places, and all the places where artist is in one side and public is in another side. So in fact, Grand Tour is a very long walk, is a walk of 250 kilometers, sometimes 300, that we do every year during 3 weeks. In this walk, people shares their life and their work with all kind of artists, like dancers, choreographers, visual artists, musicians, poets, etc. And what we have been doing for these 10 years now is slightly going to a different context in which art is not only presented, but shared by everybody. So what we expect from the future, and with this partnership with all our partners in this WALC project, is two things. One thing is much higher internationalization and the possibility of sharing our experiences with people from all Europe. And on the other side, we want to go in the direction of dissolving the distance between organizers, artists, and audiences. Our idea is that the co-living and the working together, artists and audiences, makes a joint that is a reality that is completely beyond the stage and beyond the exhibition room. Some context, some place in which this art is shared by everyone, and everyone can somehow create and live experiences that are maybe immaterial, maybe not so product oriented, but experience oriented, and that have shown in these 9 years, this year will be the 10th one, have shown this possibility that everybody can create together. So this is our first. In July, we will have also our encounters, and there we will be able to present what will be Grand Tour that will happen in August from 10th or 12th to 31st. And you are all invited to come and work with us, and hope you come many and we can share wonderful moments together. Thank you.
Okay, so the next presentation is in fact by Natasha and Miguel. So we maintain your screen, and over to you both.
So Miguel, are you there?
Yep.
Okay, great. So hello everyone once again. We did this exercise actually was to fit our own presentation after Clara's to make everything easy. I hope everyone is okay with my sound. Anything, just give me a heads up. Me and Miguel have been working with in this project since 2018, actually with Gert Vermeer. He was our first invited artist in Walking Art Practices. And the project we have is the Walking Body. We met Yanis Ziogas also in a Walking Body event, and eventually we were invited to be a partner of this big project which is called WALC. It's amazing to be here. I think it's a great opportunity for us, for me and Miguel, to learn a lot with you, everyone. It has been great to meet you all and to see your faces once again, and hopefully to also have you here next March. So Walking Body, actually, it's we try to do something that, because we are academicus, we're teachers at university, and we tend to be involved in more boring stuff, very, text oriented and thinking oriented. But as visual artists, we found out that it would be much more exciting to learn by meeting people. So we started to organizing this event where we wanted to meet artists that would be walking and using walking as an art practices. Instead of doing more boring stuff that we do at university, we started doing workshops and also promoting discussions and roundtables where we could share and talk about our own work. And at the end, this kind of evolved as an exhibition. As Clara said, it's not really object-oriented exhibition. It's more like the leftovers or the elements we've been producing during the week, and it kind of grew into something that people would come and add something or share something. And by the end, we had something to that would keep on the work we've been developing. This is, as I said before, it's held in Guimarães. We are the Laboratory of Landscape, Heritage and Territory, Lab 2PT, and we've been doing this with the Made of Walking Millennium Principle, which is Gert Vermeer essentially, and now we are in this big family. It's called the WALC. Miguel, go.
Yeah.
So you're there. Okay. Do you want to do the talk now?
No, following you.
I don't what.
Okay, but
So the general goals of Walking Body are, of course, art-based practices. And the territory we work in is interesting because it's kind of a mix between rural and urban, with a strong industrial area, which is almost died and disappeared, but it's still strong. We have a good tradition in textile and cutlery, and also with couros. I don't know, it's a skin product. We kill animals to take their skin. I don't know the proper word in English. So it's kind of leather. Thank you, Gert. It's kind of, we're interested in mixing the possibilities of doing walk practices and also engaging with cultural, social, political, and also with economical potential of these possibilities we have in the territory, in the landscape. Miguel?
Yeah, well, as you said, what we do is this strong creative and artistic character. So most of the actions are based on performances and relationship of all the participants, which are open event for everyone who wants to join with us. Is not paid, is completely free during 1 week. So, and we try to have a different experience in our common space, and in that experience is try to question this heritage that we have. It's an old heritage city, but we have this industrial heritage also, and a very strong relationship with the fields and the farming also around, which is also explored, and we question how we melt this huge pot through the walking practice.
So essentially, me or you?
No, go.
It's ping pong.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to contribute, we want to share, we perform or we promote these activities because we want to think about new relations with the landscape, of course, especially enhancing the sense of belonging. People that live there need to acknowledge this is their space, their life. We also, this idea of doing the encounters is to discover disruptive approaches to walking. It's a very experimental week. There are no rules, and we're more interested in being attentive and being involved. So sharing and hosting specifically. Because we work in a school, we can work with young artists and art students, and it's a wonderful opportunity to work with just bright and young minds. We want to play with the urban territory, but also they tend to be very risky and very subversive, very risky. Yeah, thank you. Of course, this enables us to promote intergenerational connections. They tend to bring their families, and we invite our neighborhoods to share. We try to do this through practices that people can acknowledge also as their own. I don't know, like textile or embroidering or simply painting. Of course, the easiest of actions is to walk. And finally, this is also something that's very important to us, is to develop these practices in a very ecological and respectful way. And finally, as Clara said, we want to promote our international connections and our international mobility, and to do this by sharing and thinking critically about the practices we do. And finally, we want to develop, which is our, I think has been our aim since the beginning, but I think we have a space to develop, is to work in a communitary context, to do work by co-creating. So I think at the end result, we want everyone to be an artist.
I can add my 5 cents to that with pleasure. I remember when we started the Walking Body, it was actually a necessity because there was the new School of Arts, but there was no building. At least there was only one big studio space. So the challenge was to find a way of educating, having an art school without being limited to an indoor space. And so came this idea to bring not only the students outside to the community and to the nature around this wonderful campus as well. That is a natural campus, but as well to find ways to not to see indoor and outdoor space as separated, but as complementary, and how an outdoor space is actually a space of as much learning as an isolated space when you focus on the mental, but the senses, the relations with what is around you. To redefine space is as much important as to redefine the relations we have with other people. The fact that Guimarães is, of course, a place that is post-industrial, at the same time rural and cultural, helps in shifting this approach to space as we know it. Not just urban, it's much related to a feeling of being contained, a feeling of developed culturally, but as well having seen a rural or natural space as a cultural and an artistic space. So that's what I want to do.
Oh, well, can you go previously, Miguel, just a second, just to finish before?
Sorry.
So the next event will be the first event on the big European project, Walking Arts and Local Communities. It will be held in March, and we'll be focusing on more than human walk. We'll have several artists. I think Fred is here somewhere. Manuel Fernandes is a Portuguese specialized in trees. He will be helping us. David Merlo is from Canada. Maria Ristani is a colleague from Greece who will be sharing theater, also working in public space. Miguel and me, of course. Swazik, I don't know if Swazik is here, and also Veronica Perales. All the focus will be on more than woman walk, more than human, not woman, but also more than woman walking would be very important. So I hope we have time and maybe the next years to have everyone in Guimarães, and I'm really keen on learning a lot from this experience. Thank you all. I think Miguel also. Yes, Miguel?
Yeah, yes. Please visit us online
or before Easter in Guimarães.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to all three of you. Apologies to everyone about Hertz. Whenever he talks, you hear half the cafe in which he's in talking in the background as well. So, Hertz, I don't know whether you can try and improve your sound at any point, but that'd be great. Everyone else was on mute, but there was an awful lot of chatter in the background. So, next up is we have Sylvie and Fred from Giga Circus. So, I'm not sure which of you is going to start, but
Okay, I'm starting. Can you hear me okay?
you can, Sylvie. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm so happy to see you all, and I wish I could speak all of your languages. Hola, amigos. Buenos dias. My work, I can say with lots of friends around me, is to get out of my own culture, to get out of the Occidental culture, and to link us to the rest of the world. I mean, it's just Mexico, Mongolia, and Egypt. It means three continents. So to get out of my own landscape, of my own cultural landscape, of my own natural landscape, to meet the landscape of the others and use my body, my walking body, without a language, without knowing exactly always the language that people talk, but using walking to link with each others. So Raramuris, for instance, the Tarahumara people, their vision of the world is linked to walking. Mongol nomadic people, they ride horses, but they also walk with their herds. And without walking, they would not be able to build up a culture. And to me, it's very important to link with these other cultures. Here we see Asmari people, for instance, from Eritrea. They are, and I invite you to go see geomap.asmari.com, which is a application, web app, where you can see all our encounters with the people who now come to our country. So I do this move out of myself, my culture, and I link also as the migration is this richness that enrich our cultures and language with dances and music. So today we do with my team around here with me enrich our culture with this project Hospitality in Actions. And this is what we are going to keep going with a labo mobile, mobile labo, kind of a camp, going from one place to the other, and using poetry and walking from one place to the other. And I'm very, very happy and keen on meeting you and do this tour around Europe with we have 2 oceans, 2 seas, one and one lake, and it's going to be incredible. So for the next cafe, we'll have Mohamed Nourwana. He's a African poet from Sudan, and it's good to see, sometimes people coming, of other colors also, because they have to bring us another point of view, another vision, other visions of the world. And we do need to enrich and to thrive, to feed our Occidental cultures today. So thank you very much. I hope I won't be too long. And I wish to meet you very soon. Fred, tu veux rajouter quelque chose?
Well, I'm super excited to explore how we can imagine together a contemporary version of the campfire, integrating telecommunication technology and the mobility of bodies in harmony with every place. So it's a kind of a place of permanent creation, and so yeah, let's see what's happening, what we will create during this project.
Okay, so thanks to both of you, and it's a very exciting project, so we'll look forward to that. And what we'll go to next is it's Het who's going to talk about Walk, Listen, Create, but I'm not sure whether Het is with us or away from us now. I can't see him. Oh yes, there you are. How's
I'm here, but I think I'm in a cafe, so I'm here in the local pub of Maripora in the Serra da Cantareira at the Atlantic Forest of Brazil. So I will keep it short because the people would love to tell their stories, and actually that is what we do with Walk is Great as well, collect the stories about walking and walks of artists, creatives around the world. Together with Babak Kamsada and Andrew Stuck, we have our it's a parallel trajectories. Andrew started many years ago with the Museum of Walking and with Talking Walking, which is a collection of podcasts, interviews about walking and walking arts. Babak was already a long time engaged in walking as a form of activism, but integrating it with digital practices, developing digital technologies that get you lost, but as well having this blog that has a very activist approach to walking and a subversive approach, trying to use walking as one of the last things that are still free, that are still not consuming, and that can question. Because it's not defined by anything material. My background came from the Millennium Principle and made of walking, but I was working together with Stefan van Biesen as well for many years before meeting with Andrew and Babak in organizing what we call traveling as art, or walking encounters involving walking, but as well traveling as a way of dematerializing an artistic practice and opening it for a way of creation that involves more than the individual author or individual artists. By organizing encounters where artists from all disciplines were invited to walk together in a place that is very far away from the civilized world, that is very difficult to get to, as well as already a challenge to leave behind. To go there is already an experience, and the experience even intensifies by walking together with people you don't know in a place you don't know, and starting from there to create together. These made of walking events where Andrew was participating in one of the first, led eventually to the collaboration with Yanis and with Natasha in creating similar experiences in places around the world. Now, Walk, Listen, Create brought together these experiences and of Babak, of Andrew, and myself with Made of Walking. In establishing a community beyond the physical community we already were working on. Now Walk, Listen, Create has 4,000 registered users and almost 2,000 active contributors to an online platform. An online platform that we now extend into a new platform that will bring together the partners of this project and walkers in Europe. As well, we organize cafes, which are very informal meetups for people that have an interest and a practice in walking arts. And we have the prizes, which is the Massacho Award and the Soundtrack September Award. Monique Weston is here. She is the latest, the first winner of the Massacho Award. Together with Monique, with a great work of art that she maybe can share in the chat. We go beyond the physical in the sense that we bring walkers from around the world together. We catalog their work, we facilitate them to show their work, to meet each other, out of the idea that we need to work together to know about each other, global south and north, to be able to transform our world with work. I don't know if you want to add something, Andrew, about Walk, Listen, Create.
I think all I'd say is I think I wasn't sure whether people followed, but we have Ed Coulson, who was the winner of the Soundwalk September Award, and we have Monique, who was the winner of the Marshato Award. And they're both on the call. So thank you very much for joining us on the call, but also a big thank you to you each, because without people submitting work to Walk, Listen, Create and going in for the awards and making work, we don't get to hear about it and we don't get inspired by it, but their work has been incredibly inspirational. So big thank you to you too, but also to everybody else who submitted work. And that's what we've been trying to do, is get walking artists to submit work to Walk, Listen, Create, both current and archival work, so that we can build a tremendous body of work for inspiration, really. And we do encourage people to register, and when they register, to put something on their profile, to add a bit of bio and a headshot or something that links to their websites. And Babak has created this incredible platform, and we'll be developing it further for the Walk project, so that you know, there are opportunities where you can communicate and find out about people and what work they've been doing. Now, the good news is our final presenter has appeared in the room, and that's Kostas. And I'm going to invite him to say a few words and tell us, first of all, about Action Synergy, but also to tell us a bit more about how he's sees the 4-year walk project going ahead. So Kostas, over to you.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm very glad to that you are all together here, and that we have the chance to meet you. I am not an artist. I was not aware that walking was could be a form of art before being engaged in this project, but Gert came and he explained to me, together with Yanis, the concept of the project, and I was very willing, find the idea very interesting, and was very willing to help for the realization of the project, because this is a part of my work to support ideas like this to get funding, especially to prepare a proposal to submit to the European Commission, so that these kind of ideas could become realities. But most of my background, most of my experience is in the field of training, and in this field, our in this field of training, we use much the arts in general, but we use them. We support organizations that would like to promote European, to participate in European cooperation, to work with other people in the European Union and also outside the European Union. And we work mostly on different kinds of arts, so theater. These are different projects that we have theater as a way to promote understanding between local communities and the migrant communities that are coming. Teacher training of how to use arts and theater on their classroom, or in order to promote better the understanding of the courses that they are doing, but also specific issues such as to work on specific issues such as civic engagement, gender-based violence, and all these things. Again, interactive art-based techniques for teachers. This is we also use dance. We also use music. We also use passion, and we will work with partners in Africa, for example. We work with in Uganda, Rwanda, in Cabo Verde. In order to develop skills of theater professionals to work with in theater productions. And so and also cinema, as I told you. So we are not artists, but we work very much together with artists having the training, and we use having the training and the education part of how art can connect with the society, how art can connect with education, how artists can connect with other artists in European and international level, and how we can do that how we can promote this kind of cooperation. Our organization is based in Athens, in Greece. We have been established in 1986, so it's now 38 years that we are working on this, and we are very much willing to continue, be involved, learn new things, and also contribute with our knowledge and our skills that, as I have said, are mostly in the education and training field, in order to work together and have a great impact. This is more or less my my presentation. So this is what I have to say about my organization, Action Synergy, and myself. In the work project, we are supporting in the non-artistic part of the work, and everything that is related with training, education, project management, and support to this wonderful work that you are doing.
But just to add to that, Kostas, we are all artists, and we are sure that after these 4 years, you will join our ranks and be a working artist as well. So that's the whole idea of bringing the community to working, to discover imagination and creativity as a driving force of our world that is changing. And
on the other hand, we need some administration as well.
let's bring it to an art, and let's bring it to the level of art.
Yes, I mean, I have to say that we found ourselves in a big administrative challenge. Costa knows it better, that we had to go from zero to to championship, so to say. And I think that we met the demand, and we really thank Kostas for contributing to that.
Brilliant. Okay, so well done everyone for keeping your stamina up, and thank you, Kostas, for that. And we have one final presentation, which is from Yanis Yogas. So I'm going to hand over to Yanis, but we'd really like to try to have some time to answer some questions. Anyway, over to Yanis. You have the final presentation, Yanis.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I would like to add to that not only the practical questions about how to participate and all this, but more important, what do you think about the concept of what we're contributing and discussing? To consider the ideas, to consider the practices, to make critical approaches in what we do. This is really going to enlarge the dialogue, because what we do has to do with meeting points, with possibilities to make a discourse and to make a historical mark on what is art international. So the process Visual March to Prespa started in 2006, and it is part of the activities of a public university. This is very important that Minho and ourselves, we are public, we are participants, we are representatives of what is a public education, which is under threat. And today in Greece, there is a big discussion in the parliament, and probably the right-wing parliament will be able to pass it, to have for the first time private universities in Greece. And I think that this is a big turn in many things. And I believe that what we are discussing today and what we are presenting, at least us, and of course, I believe Minho as well, has a lot to do with this discourse and this discussion. Okay, Visual March to Prespa is a process that started in 2006, as I have said. It is a process that is it is a nomadic exploration in the space of Western Macedonia. I have to say that not all my colleagues share the same opinions with what is these processes, but we are some who are working towards this direction. So this the concept is what is the body of the artist doing when they walk in a landscape. We have a territory which is Prespa. So Prespa for us is a place where we can walk, when we can experience things. As my friend Jess Hastings says, suivez le chemin que le jour vous dit de faire. It's actually not his, but he transferred it to us from local douaniers in France. So we are introducing the concept of the walking art nomad. These are it started as an activity for students, but then later eventually it became something that was relevant to all those who participate, artists, art goers, and all that. So there were dwellings that we have introduced in the place. Independent of how the weather was. That started in 2006. You can here see the area which is in this very place. I will not say that it is out of civilization, because there is no place that is out of civilization. It has a great civilization, but it is a civilization that is different than the current one, the one that is established, so to say. This is the territory. I will not go to these texts. What is the Visual March? This is more or less what we have said, how one initiates in one area something that is related to art through walking. These are the different itineraries that we have been doing over the years, 2011, 2012, 23. This is one example. You see more than 2,000 kilometers all these years, even more of walking. There were thematics that are not just thematics. These are also ways and reasons to return. Again, the territory, the same diagram that I showed before, which is very important for us. It gives us a way to think, and it sums up what we are trying to do. So we select places, we are having walking experiences, we meet decisive moments. There is critical thinking to rethink about what we do. Education is also involved. And at the end, there could be some visual works. It is a way of comprehending what is around us. It is most importantly a meeting process. That was one of the first manifesto. In a way, we address manifestos in order to encourage ourselves to go beyond what is the limited approach. We are walking along the borderlines, and we see now in Europe how borderlines, they are still playing roles with the refugees, with the migrants, with the wars that are happening. And this territory is a territory of wars also. All the important wars of the 20th century happened in this area. It is important to find objects and incidents. And using all that experience, what happens is there was this idea of going beyond from 2006 to 2019. And I really like to thank Gert for that we met and we created together this WALC Encounters conference. There have been 3 WALCs so far, and the next 2 ones are going to be the 4th and the 5th. And you can see how people are gathering. WALC 2021. This is also all the hubs that I also told you that we expanded because this small place that is Prespa with a blue dot all over the planet almost. This one is for 2023. This is part of the crowd of the 2023 outside the municipality hall, walking between the sea, the sky, and the lake, the sky, and along a bridge. We believe that we have to live as a traveler and arrive as a stranger. The walking art nomad, as we introduce it, has to do with return, with walk, with dwelling, with destination. In a way, we have created, we are using Prespa, which is a quite big area, more than 50, 60 kilometers circumference, as a place for this experiment. Here we have a number of photos for what we are doing, a beautiful landscape, but what is important is not the landscape, but what is underneath the landscape. And the nomad is never leaving a place and never arriving. All places are one. All places are one. So we're walking, keep walking, dwelling, walking along the border and trying to find what can be found in this place. So this is, we are all inviting you all next year to the Encounters Conference, and we will be building this momentum towards this event, we can call it, all these years. Thank you very much. I unshare my screen. And I hope, Andrew, that the questions have become more than one.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Yanis, and a big thank you to all the presenters, and especially for all of you for sticking it out for so long. So that's great. So hopefully this has given you a taste of what the project might involve as it evolves in the next 4 years. As you can imagine, this is pretty early days for us. This is our very first meeting online as a WALC project. We actually hopefully will meet in person physically in the middle of March, so about 2 or 3 weeks away. And from that moment and then onwards, we'll be developing the project with various processes and about how people can get actually involved very much physically. So what we're planning to do is run a symposium in the middle of April, which will explain a lot of the sorts of things that the practicalities of getting involved more so. The key thing that we will be running is every month we're running a cafe event or what we call a confluence event. The cafe events are going to be like these, a more horizontal affair where people who are in the room can get involved and can be discussing topics with a guest artist or a number of guest artists. If you want to be one of those guest artists, then you should be getting in touch with us, and we're paying those guest artists a fee. So just to give you an idea that is actually happening. Previously, we weren't able to pay artist fees, so for getting involved in cafe events. And then also for these confluences that I mentioned earlier, they happen alternate months. And they will involve more discussion about how the project is developing and ways in which you can get involved. But they will also involve a part of it will also be a guest artist presenting, and they may well be presenting in their mother tongue and not in English. So the first one that we will be having will be the first part will be the discussion about the project, which will be in English, and the second part will be in French. So we'll be providing where we can transcription, translation. If we can try to get interpretation live, but it's actually extraordinarily expensive and beyond our budget at the moment, but we're negotiating that with other people to see whether that's possible. And so those are the sorts of things that are happening. But the good news is that we have some questions in the chat, one of which is very much about how do we cut back on our travel in destruction of the environment. And I think, Yanis, you can probably answer this quite well and perhaps explain a little bit more about the hubs and nodes that are linked and how we manage to encourage people to not travel and get involved with the encounters around their local areas.
I didn't get the question.
Yanis,
can you rephrase the question?
Yeah, there have been questions about how we can cut back on the amount of air travel that we do and vehicular travel in any ways. Is there a way in which people can be involved more locally and approach things in a more greener way? And I thought you'd probably be able to answer a little bit, explain a bit more about the hubs and nodes that are linked to the encounters.
Yes, we have introduced the concept of hubs and nodes. However, I mean, to my opinion, there are greener ways to travel anyway. And I think that it is also important to meet in person. So we have to compromise between those two approaches. Both be able to have these meeting points and try to be present. And this is why we have located many of our funds in order to encourage that, from offering hospitality to supporting visiting artists. And people can travel with the greener possible ways, you know, like buses or whatever is greener than taking the aeroplane. So I don't know, Gert can answer that.
Yes, I can chip in here. The idea of nodes, which is already practiced in the Prespa encounters, invites people to walk locally in the run-up or simultaneously with the events that are happening in other countries, as well extending the group that we are into a larger community of collectives and groups that are walking. As I said in the introduction, the collective and group experiences for us what drives this whole project, and specifically for groups and for collectives in local places around Europe and around the world. This is a global project, bringing the global south to the north and the north to the global south. We look forward to participation of groups everywhere to walk with us in their local community and connecting with our community. How this will happen? This will happen through an open call that will be developed in the coming months, where we will invite local groups and collectives to propose a walk or an initiative or an exhibition or an activity with their local community as part of the
Okay, we have another question, which is about, can one get involved in something more long-term than something that is just a short residency or a conference or an event? Is there something that's more long-term that can be established with the WALC project? Who would like to try to answer that one?
I think that we initiated the project exactly because we believe in these long terms, and many of us who are here, we have already a long-term, once we start, we don't stop being together, so to say. It's not like something that can be addressed formally, but it is being addressed from the interest that we have. And chip, this is why we introduced the concept of return. Chip returning, they make circles and they return to that. So this is my answer.
And there's another question which is about the funding that might be available. Is it just a fee? Is there a contribution to travel? And is there a contribution to production costs, etc.? But maybe we should ask Natasha and Miguel, because they've been running residencies, and the walking body is like a residency. So maybe you can say a little bit about that.
Well, so we find artists when you share your work. We meet artists when we meet in Girona and Prespa. So we work with this circle, the full circle Yanis Yogas was explaining. We tend to work together as a group. So once you share your work in Walk, Listen, Create, we have the possibility to access it. We invite, yes, we pay for traveling, accommodation, and for food, and also we pay a fee. The bad news is we don't have money to do this for everyone. We can pay for 2 artists per year. We've been paying everyone since the beginning. We believe that we should be paid for our own work, but we try to find as much money as we can, but sometimes we work with artists to find a way to bring them. Of course, the idea of working online is also possible. We had a workshop was between Cyprus and Portugal. It worked perfectly. So, and we also, as a school, we are very receptive to engage and receive any artist that's interested to participate. I don't think is this a good answer? Anyone has any different question? I can try to approach it.
It is a good answer.
No, I think.
And I have to say that in
yes.
the encounters of Prespa, which are there are a few more seats. On the other hand, we have to say that we are for visiting artists, I mean. And on the other hand, we are working really very hard now that we are on our foot, to find other ways also to support artists to come and join. And yes.
In principle, the invited artists or the selected artists will be paid. This is not limited to European artists. It includes as well artists from all over the world. They will be paid. They get the fee. They get the travel costs and production costs covered. We will come back to that in detail after in the next stage of the project, when we're all together in the middle of March and have framed all the activities that will come in the coming 4 years. But it is like already Natasha said, and Jens as well, very important to us that artists are fairly compensated for their work efforts.
I wondered whether Clara wanted to tell us a little bit more about El Gran Tour and how people can be involved in that a little bit, and what's the situation around getting involved and the cost that might be associated with it.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, because previously with all these slides that were not coming, I really did not explain to you everything. I forgot to say that Grand Tour is a 3-week walk, but people can involve for only some days. I mean, it's not obligatory to do the whole work. And that we have a few artists that are or will be invited and paid for fees, for accommodation, and also for their travel. And this will happen sequentially every year in the future. So we also are finding other ways of financing. And now we have a financement of 50% apart from the European Union financing, and we hope to have more in the future. And of course, we will never be able to pay everything, but as we are an association of artists, we know that this has to be done and artists have to be paid. Also, all of our artistic programs are paid. All the artists get fees. And we have other programs like residencies, free residencies, and Walter Benjamin walk in the border, etc. So, of course, it would be fantastic to bring everybody here, and it would be also fantastic to bring all these people, as you say in the chat, not by flight, but for other means and with greener resources. But of course, as Natasha said, this is impossible. But we still wait for you, and some people is very far, but some other people is not that far. And I also believe very much in this Nordic way of walking from small places to small places. And maybe you don't have to reach here, but we can make a long chain that is transversal. And also, thanks to the new technologies, we can do a lot of things together. That's it.
Thank you, Clara. That's great. No, I think we also should draw people aware to the fact that this is a project that is co-funded by the European Union. That means that they're not covering the whole cost. We're all putting in 30% ourselves. So just when you suddenly think, oh, the EU are covering everything, they're not. So I just want to flag that up, is that, it's not everything, and we're still working very hard to make sure that we can include as many people as possible with what limited resources we have of our own. So please don't feel that we're going to try and leave anyone out. We're definitely not, and we're going to try and include as many people as possible. Sylvie, do you want to say anything more about how your project accommodates artists and brings artists together? Fred, if you want to say something.
No, Sylvie, you need to activate your mic, Sylvie.
Établir mon audio, ça y est. So yeah, we have this little place which is called La Gare numéro 7 because it's Rue de la Gare, 7 Rue de la Gare. It's an old barn that we transformed into a camp, studio, and we are helped by our region, locally, and what's called DRAC and Ministry of Culture. But it's not a big sum, but it helps us to develop our projects. And this special project, Hospitality in Action, which enables us to have artists in residence here, coming, exiled artists, artists in exile, coming from Eastern countries and Southern countries. So this is helped by local community too. So it's interesting politically to see that we are helped and supported by the people from our local community, small community, which means that they feel that migration and people who come from abroad bring life and bring culture, and they are now we have this exhibit by Mongol artists, and there were like 70 people yesterday coming and seeing it. So it has really it's very important to acknowledge this fact that we need other culture, and the link between us and them is supported. We have this opportunity of being politically supported, and it's a sheer luck in the world of today, when you feel that racism is growing and ugly things. So we are happy and lucky, and lucky also to be part of your project, of this project. It's our first encounter. Many of you we never met yet, and we will soon. And how lucky we are! Yes, thank you so much to all. Also, those who are listening Thank you. I would love to meet you too. Hope to see you soon, someplace.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of wrap it up now. We're going to say thank you to all the presenters. Thank you to all of you. We're obviously going to be keeping things up to date on Walk, Listen, Create. So if you haven't yet subscribed to our newsletter, please do so. Also, as I keep saying, we won't really know very much about you unless you add material to your Walk, Listen, Create profile. So please do that if you haven't done it. Because to be honest, you know, it's a big world out there, and we'd love to meet you all and shake you by the hand and go walking with you. But you know, quite often that's not possible. But at least we can get some idea of who you are and what inspires you, and the work that you've made and the work that you hope to make. And that's what we'd like to find out. So please make sure you keep yourself up to date with Walk, Listen, Create. We are going to have a Walk website, and that's going to be available later on. We haven't yet, you know, got to that point yet. So this was very much an initial opening opportunity for you to share the good news that the EU have put forward, put their hands in their pockets. The fantastic work really that made that happen was from Yanis, Hert and Kostas, who have really made this happen. So a big thank you to them. We look forward to meeting you all again, and we'll keep in touch, and we want you to keep in touch with us too. So thanks very much, everyone.